It's Monster Hunter Day where we all get to play the demo. Yay! Everybody shout hooray! Oh, we're recording a video? What's going on, folks? Welcome back to D-Life HD. This is Victor, and today we are going to be discussing the Monster Hunter Stories 2 demo that just came out. I'm extremely excited for this game. For those who don't know, I am a huge Monster Hunter fan, and they just released a demo 2 weeks ahead of the launch for Monster Hunter Stories 2, so without any further delay, and no more singing from me, let's jump right into it.
Switch it up. Switch it up. I was a worker, had to upgrade to a boss. I had to switch it up. Used to live in the hood, but had to upgrade to a loft. I had to switch it up.
One of the first times I ever attempted to record a video when it comes to reviewing or anything video game related was for the launch of Monster Hunter Stories 1 on the 3DS. That was back in 2017. I filmed my own independent video. It never went out anywhere. It was sort of a personal project of my own because I was really excited. I love turn-based RPGs and I love Monster Hunter. Never been big into Pokemon, but I liked the idea. And so meshing those all into one game, I was no doubt excited because it was going to take all the lore from a franchise that I know and love and completely shift it around and be more story focused while also changing up the gameplay to be turn-based. So when I got my hands on the game, I completely fell in love with it. Sad story, I got to basically the final boss, the door right before you enter into the final boss area. And this game saved to the SD card, and that SD card went through some trouble, and I lost my entire save for it. This also happened to my original save for Monster Hunter Generations, and so that was it. I never got to beat the first stories, which is really sad, actually. I did get to figure out what happened at the end. It was really cool, and I'm not going to spoil it here, but it was time to lay that to rest and move on because they announced a sequel coming to the Nintendo Switch. And this was back when Rise got announced, actually, so we're coming up. I mean, we're just a few months away from this game being announced a year ago, and now we're just 2 weeks out from it launching. At E3, I actually talked about this in my E3 video, they announced we got a demo coming up, and that actually just came out. It was the demo for Monster Hunter Stories 2, and I got my hands on it, downloaded it at midnight, which it launched at midnight, and that was awesome. I was hoping that would happen. And yeah, I've been playing it. I played about 2 hours of it already, and I am absolutely just going back to that same feelings that I had for Stories 1. One time, while I was in the midst of playing Stories, I actually fell and I hurt my ankle really bad. And so it wasn't quite broken, but I definitely could not walk on it. So I was basically demobilized for about a week. And I literally just sat in my room and played Stories on my 3DS non-stop. And that's one of my favorite gaming memories. And I'm ready for Stories 2 to do the same thing, for me to really get invested in it for a period of time and not put it down until I get to the end of it and beat it. And guess what? A lot of what I love, if not all of what I love from the first game, carries directly over to this sequel, so far from what I can tell from the demo. And more. There's more depth to the combat, being that you can switch between your weapons mid-battle to do special things, like there might be a specific area you want to target on an enemy, and using a certain weapon will do different kinds of damage. I mean, for example, in the demo, we fight a Kuliaku, and he pulls up a rock. And for those who have played World or Rise, who have fought in Kuliaku, you know that you cannot get past that rock until it breaks. And so you have to use a more blunt weapon. You're switching out your weapon to get past this rock. So little tweaks like that and additions that change up the gameplay are enough to really push this game to a higher standard, because there was a few issues with Stories when it comes to the depth of the combat. It was good, but I feel like it could have used more. And honestly, from what I've done with the combat so far in Stories 2, this demo we've gotten, it's done exactly what I want in adding a little more depth to it. Also, the world is really beautiful. It's similar to how the open world sections of Stories are. I mean, it's, if not exactly the same. I mean, it's a different map, 100%. But I'm curious to see how everything connects. because the map that we got in Stories 1 is a basic map of the original Monster Hunter world. And then with Monster Hunter World, the video game world, we got a new continent, basically, in the map design of the entire franchise. So I'm curious to see, will Stories 2 take place in the new world, or is it back in the old world and we're going to visit some locations we visited in the first game? There are obviously characters we saw in the first game, because we see them in trailers, and already we have Naviru, who is a feline, a weird feline, one of the most annoying characters ever. He's back in our party. I think it's funny how Monster Hunter can be such a great franchise, but produce some of the most annoying characters in video game history. Naviru, I'm looking at you. You are one of the worst characters. I'm probably going to switch it over to the Japanese voice acting, because I cannot stand Naviru's voice actor. He's just... It's like they want him to be the most annoying character in the world. So... yeah, it's got a lot of what the first game had. It's carrying over. It feels like a true sequel. And so far, though, in the demo, I'm not feeling anything that's blowing me away as far as it being on a new platform. I feel like this version of it could definitely be on the 3DS as a playable game. So we'll have to see. Maybe later on the maps are going to be way bigger and where my mind's just going to be blown. But as for the demo, we're not seeing a whole lot that makes me feel like, oh, this is the next generation of Stories. And that's okay, because the first Stories game is fantastic, and being able to play more content in that style of game is awesome. But as I play it, I'm really hoping that we'll see more depth to everything that we're doing. And maybe that comes in form of this, the cutscenes that we get, the story. Because in this game, it's fully voice acted, and the cutscenes are very beautifully animated. Now, for some reason, I'm not Digital Foundry, so I don't know all of the technical know-how behind all of this, but I feel like the cutscenes are running at 20 frames per second. I don't know what it is. Maybe, I'm pretty sure the game runs at 30 frames, and it seems like the cutscenes are dropping down to 20 frames. I don't know why. It might be certain sections of the cutscenes, but it really detracts from the experience. And there's also, so far, I've experienced some pretty bad frame dropping inside the world. Now, it is a turn-based game, and I can look past that when it comes to the full thing, but I really hope this is something that they can tweak by the time it comes out. I don't know. The game's in its final state. I doubt that they're going to do much to fix it, so that makes me a little bit afraid. We'll have to see. It could be something they fix in an update to come out. Maybe there's a day one patch. I have no idea. But if you're gonna play this demo, if you're gonna play the full game, just be aware that that's there. I highly encourage you to go out and try this demo though, because all of your save file will carry over. It's similar to like the Octopath, or which I believe carried over from the demo, or the Dragon Quest XI demo, where you play like so many chapters of the game. They say, hey, thanks for checking out the demo. Why don't you buy the full game now? If you buy the full game, your save that you just did will carry over. So basically, this demo is not just random stuff, not random quests like the Rise demo was, or the World demo was, but this is literally the beginning of the game. You're playing the first couple chapters that the game has to offer. So be aware, if you don't want to start it yet, don't play the demo, but if you're really wanting to test about whether or not, hey, is this something I really want to play, or should I just wait? Or, you're going to get the starting experience of the game, and so far I'm really enjoying it. It's got the same charm that the first game did, and more. So, we'll see what the full game is like. I'm going to be reviewing it, of course, because it is a Nintendo game. I mean, it's a Nintendo system game, and it's a Capcom game, so I'm about to review this. But for now, I'm going to hold off on my full criticisms and my full thoughts. This is sort of a first impressions as far as the demo goes. And I'll see you guys in the full review. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this video. We love talking to you guys. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like these. Lastly, check out our Twitter account for gameplay of the latest releases. But most importantly of all, remember to always stay 1UP.